Hello and welcome to another Midweek Message. We're really getting through the month of May now, aren't we? What's the weather like where you are? It's been awful here. We've had rain and goodness knows what. Regardless of your thoughts on the monarchy and all that business, whether it should be there or not, how was your weekend? On Saturday, the day of the coronation, we had rain, a lot of rain. I wasn't able to watch the coronation because we were so busy doing this and that. But I don't think the rain was too bad in London. Down here on the coast, it did eventually stop as the afternoon dragged on. But in the morning, it was just torrential rain the whole time. It's eased off a bit now. Not doing a forecast because I'm pre-recording this, as I've mentioned before, I think on last Sunday's podcast. This Sunday, if you're interested, are you interested? Probably not. I'm going to talk a bit about the NHS, the National Health Service. You've heard of that all around the world, haven't you? You've heard of that. A friend of mine calls it the IHS, International Health Service. I don't know. I've heard it called that on the telly as well. I've heard people on the news call it the IHS because it seems that people come from all over the world, have their free medical care or whatever, their treatment, and then go home. I think they're supposed to pay. I'm not too sure. So I'll be ranting and raving about that on Sunday. If you've got anything you want to add or say to me, raise rants at protonmail.com. Be great to hear from you, as always. OK, what's next? I think the coronation went off without a hitch. From what I've heard, I haven't really seen the news or anything, to be honest. I think some people were arrested for something. I'm not sure what. I really must try and catch up on the news. I normally get the alerts on my watch, don't I? I normally call it my Apple Watch, but it's not. It's Fitbit. I normally get the news alerts on there, but it's not been doing that. I've had to reboot the watch, reboot the phone and reboot everything in sight. And now I'm getting the news alerts again. But I think I've missed out on so much. That's how I keep up to date with all the news. Fake news, false news. You never know what's what these days. We've just been doing a little bit of shopping in Waitrose. For those of you abroad, Waitrose is a supermarket. Now, we call it Waitrose, that's how it's spelt. Mother-in-law calls it Waitrose without pronouncing the T. That's interesting, Waitrose. I wonder what it should be. I would have thought the T. You can email me about that. Actually, you're probably thinking, I don't want to email you about Waitrose, do I, for goodness sake? Waitrose. I hate shopping. Who hates shopping? As Trish said when we were in there, that's the first time I've been shopping with her in several years. I try to keep out of it now and let her get on with it. It's far better that way. She agrees it's far better that way. Not sure why I went this morning, but I did. Email from Frida. That's a nice name, Frida. I don't know where you're from. It doesn't say on your email. She says the motorbike. Do you remember the motorbike accident I mentioned a week or two ago, where this chap ended up in the ditch, the other side of the hedge and all that? Well, Frida says that a friend of hers many years ago got his foot stuck in a railway siding, fortunately a disused railway siding. He was in his teens and he was playing about with his mates. They wandered off. He was looking at something and he got his foot stuck in the points, the switch where they switch the tracks. Luckily, as I say, it was all disused, but he couldn't get his foot out. My first thought was surely just slip his foot out of his shoe, but apparently he couldn't. And he was there for several hours. And it was only when his parents started wondering where he was, contacted his friends, and they said, well, we last saw him down the railway sidings. And they went to have a look, and there he was. He was sitting down with his knees up to his chest, his foot stuck in the points, and he was so pleased to see them. Frida goes on to say they got the police and they couldn't get him out. They had to call the fire people, the fire engine, and with a hydraulic jack thing, they forced the points open because it was all rusted. They forced the points open and released him. He wasn't badly damaged or anything, but he was worried. She's saying that he was worried that he was going to be just left there day in, day out until he died. You've got to be careful, haven't you? Of course, this is going back again before the days of mobile phones. I mean, normally you just get on your phone, help, I've done something stupid, I'm stuck in the railway sidings, come and help me. But there we are. So mobile phones do have their uses, don't they? OK, I think that'll do for now. I won't bore you anymore. I hope you enjoy this Sunday's episode about the National Health Service here in Great Britain. And I hope you enjoyed the coronation if you watched it. Take care, and I shall see you on Wednesday. Bye-bye for now.